Hey guys, this is a 1 hour free masterclass on everything you need to know about how to sign clients using LinkedIn for your agency or your business. And it's not only going to cover some of the more basic stuff, but also some of the more advanced principles that helped us book anywhere from 20 to 30 sales calls every single week. And in fact, some people don't believe like LinkedIn has that capability. So booking 80 sales calls for free using LinkedIn sounds ridiculous. So I'm actually going to show you my calendar as the video progresses, and I'll show you sort of some of the months that we've had that have been more successful than others, and I'll take you through sort of that process. Now, just as an introduction, because some of you guys might be thinking, who is this guy? What does he know about LinkedIn? So just as a reference point, I've actually grown my LinkedIn from 200 connections, I think in August, all the way till now 1.5k followers. And obviously followers isn't the best metric to measure success. So as a better reference point, I took my LinkedIn from booking 0 meetings, genuinely getting no leads anywhere. And then I learned a lot from one-to-one with some of the biggest gurus in the space. They coached me personally, and I was able to scale to literally now being capable of booking anywhere from 60 to 80 sales calls. Depending on the month, it's Christmas now, so business is sort of starting to die off, but in some of our more successful months, anywhere from 80 to 100 sales calls. But just before I start, I do want to say this because I'm giving all of this away for free. There's no strings attached, nothing. And all of this information is probably just going to make us go broke. So I do ask you guys do one thing. If you find this video useful, if you start generating leads with LinkedIn, then just send me a DM and let's see if you like my content, if you feel like, okay, I like this guy, I like what he's sort of preaching, then send me a DM and you can apply to work with us one-on-one. And it's basically a coaching mentorship style program. It's for the same price as a LinkedIn course, like your average LinkedIn course. You'll get tutored one-on-one with me and Freddie, where we'll set everything up for you: your headline, your banner, your about section, your content, even helping you craft personalized DMs specifically to your ICP. So I'll have my LinkedIn link below. Just shoot me a DM and you can apply for some of our guarantees, just like Ashan did. And literally within the first couple minutes of us coaching Ashan, he booked his first meeting, which was great. Same with Linus. Within 30 minutes, he was able to book 3 meetings using LinkedIn. Like, trust me guys, LinkedIn is so slept on. It's literally, you just gotta know what you're doing and you'll be capable of doing the same. Because I started LinkedIn about 6 or 7 months ago, and now it's got the same scalability as ads. So without further ado, I'm going to break down exactly how we do everything. Right, fundamentals. So I'm going to be taking you through some of the basics just to begin with. For a lot of the more advanced people who think that they might need to skip this section, trust me, there might be a couple things that you're doing that you might not have even realized you're doing wrong. So I'm just going to be taking you through sort of the basics of LinkedIn, the fundamentals, switching your paradigms, and then sort of getting more and more into the value and more of the advanced tactics just as we progress throughout the entire video. So with LinkedIn, I find that it's a lot easier if you figure out what not to do with LinkedIn, because there's so many people who are doing things wrong. I think it's easier for us to start with what not to do on LinkedIn. Now, if you can see my screen, I'm just going to take you through. This is what not to do on LinkedIn, right? We received this message, I think it was, today in the morning. Hi Arian, I hope you're doing well. I'm Mohammed. I'm specialized in lead generation, data entry. Your B2B sales service aligns perfectly with my expertise. I'd love to learn more so we can collaborate, right? This wasn't even as bad. Like, I've seen worse than this. In fact, let's see. Let's blur out the names. I don't want to call people out. Oh yeah, this guy. This guy's message is probably one of the worst, right? And props to him, like he's up doing Upwork, like he's a freelancer, but this is what you should not do, right? Hi, greetings. I hope you're well. My name is Mohammed. I specialize in lead gen, email marketing, blah, 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 Upwork profile, generate high quality leads. Imagine if you're a busy founder and you receive a message that's like a long paragraph, you don't really have the time. If your ICP is founders, CEOs, C-suite executives, they're not really going to have the time to be able to read through a 6-paragraph message. So that's what not to do. More on sort of the messaging side of things. We've also seen like a lot of people, they'll try put out 7 posts a day and they're all sort of AI generated, or maybe perhaps they're not really putting as much effort into it. Maybe they're writing a full promotional script. LinkedIn has been completely rinsed with salespeople, right? And the easiest way for you to differentiate yourself from the people who are sort of doing the wrong things is just to do the opposite of what everyone else is doing, right? So if everyone else is posting salesy content, then just post non-salesy content. If everyone else is being super uptight and professional, then maybe loosen it down a little bit. Be a little bit more of yourself. In fact, I take you through this was a pretty bad post. And again, I'm not going to call anyone out so we can like blur out faces, right? But did you know effective team collaboration can increase productivity by up to 25% in today's fast-paced work environment? Okay, you can already tell this is written by AI. So this is what not to do when it comes to posting. I've also seen a lot of people, they'll message me and they'll sort of say, what's your strategy for comments? Truth is, when you first start out, you might need to put out a couple comments, engage with the community, give back. But if you're doing 20 comments a day, that's just excessive, right? Every LinkedIn guru will tell you, you need to send out comments, you need to do this, you need to do that. I can tell you with certainty, as someone who hasn't done comments and who's grown their LinkedIn from literally 200 connections all the way to 1.3K within a couple weeks, I can tell you comments don't mean anything, right? If you are going to do comments, I do recommend that you comment something useful, say like you agree with the post, then add your own spin on it, give them a compliment, and then directly after that, send them a connect request. Do not comment on 20 random people's posts and leave it there, right? That's what so many people do. They'll try comment on their ICP. You should not be doing that. Comment, connect request, message them, strike up a conversation. It's that simple. You should not be commenting on 20 people posts. Another one is engagement trading. This is really crap. I actually had someone who messaged me yesterday. They were sort of asking, that he's been engaging with his ICP's content and they sort of haven't been reciprocating it. And he's been doing this for about 3 or 4 months now. And I was sort of like shocked. I was like, if you're expecting to engage on people's content, not because you like it, but because you think that they'll reciprocate, you're doing the absolute wrong thing, right? You should not be doing that. You should be leaving comments that are insightful every so often, but that's as far as engagement trading should go, right? A comment is the only way you can stand out. And if you are, you need to use your comments like strategically. Not doing 20 comments a day, but sending out one comment that's really insightful on one person's post and then directly after that striking up a conversation. And the last one is followers. Like this one is a super big one, right? I actually spoke with a LinkedIn creator who's got 20,000 followers and they're literally making 1 or 2 grand out of LinkedIn every single month, which sounds like a lot, but when you put it into perspective in terms of how much we make, considering the fact that me and Freddie, my business partner, combined both have under 5,000 followers and we're currently making anywhere from 8 to 10K per month. It really puts it into perspective when you sort of think someone who's got 20,000 followers, which is over 4 times as many, surely that they should be making more, but that's actually not the case. It's down to the quality of your content and the quality of your followers and the types of people that it's going to attract. And it's really important to note, followers don't mean anything. All right, perfect, cool. I've taken you through some of the misunderstandings of what not to do on LinkedIn. Now I'm going to take you through of what to do if you do want to succeed. First off, you need to realize, is your ICP even on LinkedIn? So many people do this. In fact, we even had a client whose target audience was retail businesses, and I sort of had to double check with them. I was like, are you sure? And I actually put out a post about it today because you need to find out if your ICP is actually on LinkedIn. And I don't just mean on LinkedIn, but I mean active. Because the easiest way you can scale with LinkedIn is to have a target audience that is already posting on LinkedIn, that's already trying their best to get their name out there. And if you have a target audience that's doing that and you reach out to them on LinkedIn, the chances are that they're probably going to respond to you. So examples of bad ICPs would be e-commerce stores, maybe beauty clinics, maybe even butchers, like stores that are either local businesses or perhaps they're just B2C. So for example, with e-commerce, they wouldn't really have a LinkedIn presence because their target customer is, your average everyday person. So why would they be on a B2B networking platform if their, target customer is just a regular customer? They're not trying to get clients, they're not trying to engage with other people's businesses. Whereas something like a solar company might actually want to engage with other businesses to see if their warehouses and factories actually need solar, for example. Or real estate agents, right? Real estate agents might want to reach out to businesses to see if they'd be interested in purchasing a new piece of real estate. Or cold email agencies, a really good example. Cold email agencies really, like their entire model relies on B2B networking and B2B lead gen. So they will be on LinkedIn. And in fact, they're extremely active. So having cold email agencies as your target client is a really good example of a huge TAM. TAM meaning total addressable market. And if you have a huge TAM, it means that you can succeed on LinkedIn. So it's really important that you sort of get that ideology down first before you start really trying to push on LinkedIn. And if you feel like sort of your target audience isn't there, or perhaps you're a bit confused, the best way for you to find out is to see if you can find a competitor who's offering the same service you are and who has the same target client. If you can't find a competitor, then try find someone who's got the same target client that you do. And if you can't find someone who's targeting the same ICP as you are and is being successful with it, so check their posts, check to see if they're active on there. If they're not, the chances are that you do not need to use LinkedIn to lead gen, or that it's not possible for you to use LinkedIn to lead gen for your ICP, right? And it's important that you then look at other people who offer the same services you do and really analyze, okay, who are they targeting? You can even message them and sort of ask them, what is your ICP? This is going to sound stupid, but what is LinkedIn, right? And it sounds like a silly question, right? But not a lot of people actually fully understand what LinkedIn is and what it means to sort of be on LinkedIn as a platform. Because when LinkedIn first started, it was meant to be a B2B networking platform. In fact, it was meant to be a professional networking platform. Now, I want to take you back. About a couple months ago, we got personally invited to an event, a networking event, with over 180 business owners in MK, in the place that I live, called MKFM, right? We all sort of went and we were exchanging business cards, we were sort of having a nice laugh, we got free food, etc., right? And I remember I sort of gave a speech. I gave a speech on paid traffic because someone else was sort of talking about the same topic and I wanted to add my own opinion on it, right? And at the time, I was also running a marketing agency on the side. Now, the truth is, I could have gone there and I could have pitched them, right? I could have pitched 180 business owners all at the same time and I could have, really sold my services. But instead, I decided, no, I'm just going to give everything away for free. So I did this entire pitch. I gave them a bunch of free value. And guess what? Directly after me pitching everyone, I got a bunch of people's business cards. People were hitting me up. They were asking me to sort of do their lead gen for them because I'd shown that I was an expert, right? Now, the difference is, I want you to picture a bar. On one side, you have trusted expert, right? Or authority. And on the other side, you have salesman. You do not want to be a salesman because if you're a salesman, it means you're not a trusted expert. Now, I want to tell you a flip side of someone who did the wrong thing at this networking event, right? So he sort of showed up. He was a bit, arrogant, a bit sort of obnoxious. And someone was talking about paid traffic and he said, oh, CRMs are super important. Then he started talking about his own CRM solution, his own software, and everyone switched off, right? And at the end, he ended up getting left out of all the conversations. He was trying to give his networking cards and no one was really having them, or they're throwing them in the bin. And, he didn't really get much leads from that. So that's the alternative side of sort of being that salesy guy versus actually being that trusted expert. And it's weird because you'll get more sales just giving away free value like we're sort of doing right now. So why do I say all of this? It's because LinkedIn is exactly the same. It's the world's largest networking event. It's got 1 billion active users. There is a huge scope for pitching businesses here. But it's really important that you do sort of what I did and sort of what all good people do at networking events, which is just give away free value, right? If you're going in there and you're sort of pitching people left, right, center, they will be instantly put off. All right, I'm going to take you through this graph right here. Now, for those of you who don't know what this is a demand generation graph. And it's basically explaining your target audience. So, as you can see, 30% at the bottom, 30% in the middle, 30% in the top of the middle part, then 7 and 3 at the very, very top, right? If you go ahead and you pitch people on LinkedIn, just completely unwarranted, you send them a message, sort of like the one that I got, you will actually get leads from it, right? We did this for a client when we were first starting out, and we got him 12K worth in deals. Well, we actually did a different approach, but we sort of pitched them within the second or third message, right? We got 12K worth in deals. So it does actually work, right? But you're cutting down your target audience all the way from the total addressable market, which is probably about 70%, all the way down to the bottom 3, right? 3% of the market are actually ready to buy now. And when you send that message that's trying to sell them, you are only targeting that 3%. So you instantly kill off the other 67% of your target audience just because you decided to be lazy and pitch straight there. All right, perfect, cool. Now, the truth is, when you receive a message from someone, you already know that they're going to pitch you. Everyone checks through someone's profile after they message you. They see your content. They know what your service is, and they know, your true intention is to pitch, right? But the further you put off the pitching part, the higher anticipation they have to be pitched. They're sort of confused. Why is this guy not pitching me? Why is he sort of not talking about his service? And the further you can put that off, the more they sort of want to be pitched. And that ties into this graph here. So I'm going to break down this graph in a really simple way. Now, again, I'm not a demand generation specialist, so I don't fully understand this, but I understand it enough to sort of explain it in terms of LinkedIn. The bottom 30% will not want your service, right? But it is important to note that you should not alienate them anyway. The bottom 30% will probably be reached by some of your content, and they will sort of see what you're doing. The upper end of the 60% at the bottom is the side of the market that doesn't even know that they have a problem yet, but they might have a problem, right? So they might have a lead generation problem, but they're not actually aware because they haven't run an audit on it yet. So they might have some of the symptoms of it, but guess what? They don't really know that it's a problem. The middle 30% is the market that know they have a problem, right? So they're aware, maybe we're not generating enough leads, maybe sort of we're not getting enough solar deals, maybe we're not reaching the right people, but guess what? It's not really a priority. We can put it off till later. So they're not actively looking for a solution. Now, the 7% of the market, right, the top 7% are the people who know they have a problem, just like the other 30%. But this time they are actively researching a solution, they're kind of looking out, but they're not ready yet. They're sort of still contemplating, they're still weighing up their options. And it's only the top 3% where they know they have a problem, they're looking for the solution, and they are ready to buy now. Like, this is a pressing problem. Before we book sales calls, we always put on a sort of graph, what would you say LinkedIn lead generation is, like, on a scale of 1 to 10, how big of a problem is it? Anywhere from 1 to 10. And if they put 10, meaning it's a big problem, we know that they're in the top 3%. Right, now we've sort of covered all of the basics. I'm going to be taking you through the 3 elements of LinkedIn, right? The 3 core pillars, which is just content, messaging, and profile. It's really that simple. Anyone else who tells you anything different is lying to you. They're sort of overcomplicating the process, and I want to keep all of the fluff out of this course so you guys get the most value as possible, right? So again, we're going to take it through how you shouldn't view some of these pillars. And we're going to start with content because I feel like content is the biggest one, right? Now, I want you to picture that sort of funnel. In fact, I'll pop it up right now. We'll picture this funnel right here, right? So picture this funnel, right? And at the bottom, that's all of your sales that are falling through. Now, the content is like the water inside of the funnel, right? So you're pouring water into this funnel shape, right? Now, without content, without anything that, kind of acts as content, so whether it's paid or organic, your funnel is pointless, right? There's no point in you building up this entire marketing funnel if you're not getting any traction through. So it is important that you are, building out and putting out consistent content. Now, a lot of gurus say post 7 times a week, right? Post 5 times a week. We tend to find that actually posting 3 to 4 high quality times in a week actually works better. You get more engagement, you get more reach, and as a rule of thumb, you shouldn't post more than once within 18 hours if you want your engagement to be maximized, right? That's just a little tip that I've heard. Now, content, a lot of people view it as a way to promote your brand, right? And they will treat it that way. They'll treat content as sort of a way to get their name out there, but in the wrong sort of way. They'll do infomercial style posts, just like I showed you at the very start. They'll use AI. They'll sort of not put a lot of time into it. They don't really care too much about the quality of the content that goes out because they're more focused on volume, right? Because they've been told 7 times a week is more important. Now, the truth is, the way to grow on LinkedIn is to have a personal brand, right? And that personal brand is going to make people have affinity with you, because the truth is, there are so many cold email agencies, there are so many marketing agencies, there's so many LinkedIn lead gen agencies. The only way to differentiate yourself is to be yourself, right? And you'll hear it a lot, like, be authentic, right? But the truth is, you just, need to be yourself, right? And the way to do that is to be open, be slightly unprofessional, but just keep it real with people. Like, people really will respect that. That's why I'm sort of, recording this video in like my normal clothes. I'm not in a suit and a tie because, I'd be overdoing it. And this is who I am authentically. So it's important for you to be authentic to yourself, authentic to your brand, right? And it's important for you to post out high quality content to get good reach, because posting consistently 7 times a week doesn't mean that your ICP is going to see your content more. Because if you post 3 or 4 times, if it's high quality, you'll actually get more reach. So your prospect will actually see you more. The way for you to view content is really simple. You should view content as a way to nurture your audience. There's many different ways that you can do this, right? Nurturing an audience just means taking a lead from cold, meaning they don't know who you are, all the way to taking them to warm, to where they feel comfortable with you, where they feel like they're interested in your service, and where they can then progress to the after purchase stage, right? So you've probably heard this one before, tofu, mofu, bofu, right? Again, gets overcomplicated a lot. I'm going to break it down really simply, and then I'm going to give some actual post examples of sort of good tofu, mofu, and bofu content, right? Top of funnel content is really simple. It's just about making people aware of your service, right? Now, people, they don't just want to be aware about your service, because if you're building a personal brand, then you want them to be aware of who you are, right? So top of funnel content should be a lot about your own personal story, because people will buy from you and they'll buy into your story, your culture, your ethos, and if they like you as a person, and as well as sort of that trust element. But the tofu is literally just getting them to be aware of you and sort of like you as a character, right? Top of funnel content should get the most amount of reach, but this is an example where it didn't really get as much impressions or engagement, but actually a lot of people know me for this one post here, and I've sort of got it on screen right now. So I tried making money on LinkedIn within 90 days. The results aren't what you expect. Day 1 to 10, connecting with 30 people. So I'm just telling them my story, right? I'm saying within 30 days, here's what happened, right? I take them through, here's what I found. I give them some actionable tips, right? I don't pitch. Nowhere do I pitch. I literally just give away advice, tell them my story. That's it. And here's the creative here. This took ages to make, right? But
I spent 90 days trying to see if you can.
I actually like doing video content. So this was, again, me being super authentic to who I am. I love doing short form content. And as you can see, like, again, I was just showcasing my style of videography. And again, I got a lot of sort of comments about this, but more than anything, even some of the people who didn't comment on it, but sort of saw this post, maybe they didn't even like it, they actually knew about me from this. And in fact, we actually had a client who hit me up and said, oh, I actually know about you from this short. Like I saw the short, it was really good. We had another client do the same thing. If you can leave someone with a strong and good impression, they'll sort of feel more affinity to come back towards you. So if they ever struggle with, for example, LinkedIn lead gen, they are likely to come back to you. And again, it's all about sort of the headline here, telling you sort of what you do. So they see the post, it's kind of about LinkedIn lead gen, but they know that I do LinkedIn lead gen because, like, literally right here I say I help agencies sign clients through LinkedIn and Facebook. It's that simple. You don't need to overcomplicate it. Just literally short headline. You don't need to have the fact that you're the CEO or founder. No one really cares about that, truthfully. They just care about what you can do for them. Now, middle of funnel content is sort of that content that nurtures them, that gives them value and sort of gives them educational resources and insights. So I'll take you through an example that we've sort of done, if I have one. Here we go, right? Perfect. This is one of my most viral posts. And again, there's no specific reason for this, maybe because it's a lead magnet. But again, everyone says growing on LinkedIn is hard. It took me 6 months to book meetings, but if I could have done it in 3 if I knew these tactics. So then I give away sort of actionable advice, right? Use 3:4 aspect ratio, post 10 minutes before your peak time, repost at the second time. Like, all of these tactics do work, but they are sort of fluff, right? So they do work. I use them for every single post, but it's not really the way to get good with content. The way to get good with content is to use a proven hook and be authentic. It's that simple. And post maybe a picture that's really good, like a picture of your face, or maybe a video giving away a free resource. That's the way you get viral on LinkedIn, right? This will do good for your engagement, but if you do all of this but your post is still bad, it's not going to magically perform well. So you need to understand that. So again, but I'm giving away sort of this free actionable advice. And then I sort of then say, well, you know, if you want more free advice, I can give you these GPT prompts that will help you make viral hooks to find your audience pain points. Because I know the truth is, a lot of my target audience, they're sort of lazy with posting, right? They want to use AI to sort of make it work. And I've made prompts that can do that. But the truth is, I know my target audience really well. And when you know your target audience really well, you can make content that resonates with them. So one way that I know them really well is because I know that when they write a post, they don't really want to put much effort into it, right? So if I can say I can automate the process with AI, they are likely to comment. So that's why with this sort of post here, I wrote, I'll send you across GPT prompts that will define your audience pain point. write posts and storytelling frameworks, and make viral hooks. The truth is, I don't use AI for my content. I write it all by myself. I don't even use AI to come up with ideas because all of it is super authentic to who I am. But I do know my target audience, and I do know that they will want to comment for an AI resource because, you know, they don't really want to put much time. They don't really want to put much time into posting, and they also want their post to do well. So AI can, you know, supposedly do that for them. So again, I got a lot of traction on this post here. And the last style of content is bottom of funnel. This is an example of a bottom of funnel post, right? So a bottom of funnel post is about the people who are ready to buy, right? They're just actively waiting to buy. So you built up all this desire. So again, the content is a nurturing funnel. So through the process of nurturing them, you built up all of this desire, right? They're like, oh, okay, I trust him. He's a trusted expert. He's an authority builder, right? And that's when you start posting the testimonials. That's when you start posting results. So we signed 4 clients in 2 weeks, $4,578.29 from only inbound leads and content, right? And I'm giving away the prompts for free. Again, I love this prompt one, right? The content strategy took us, and then I give the results. And then look at the picture. 750, 724, 630. So these are all, so that's about $3,000 in that screenshot. And then the 4th payment, which I think it was like here, it got cut off because I wanted to use a 3x4 posting aspect ratio, and it didn't let me put anything else in. So I thought, okay, well, less is more. You got 3 big payments. You got the sort of pound sign here, like they know sort of this is business, right? And that's gonna break the scroll. They're like, okay. So I know my target audience, they care about signing clients. I'm talking about doing it in a difficult way. And what breaks their scroll? This here, the money from Revolut coming in to their business account. Because at the end of the day, again, I know my target audience really well. I know the only thing they really care about is the money coming in, right? They don't really care about how many meetings they're booking. They don't really care about how many clients they're signing. At the end of the day, if they can have 1 client that pays them 10K versus 10 clients that pay them 1K, I think they wouldn't really be too fast, as long as the fulfillment is both equally the same. Like with 10 clients, there might be more effort being put in, but if we were to leave that out the equation, then again, all they would care about is sort of the money aspect. So I've sort of taken you through the content types, right? So again, top of funnel, make them problem aware. Middle of funnel, give them value. Bottom of funnel, that's where you can sort of give the testimonials, give proof of concepts, and really establish yourself as the one to go to. And then also use FOMO strategies as well. So make them feel like they're missing out on something. And again, that's how content, like that's the basics of content. It's really just a funnel. It's not used promotionally. It's literally used as a funnel. And I was actually talking to a prospect, I think it was on Monday, so about a couple days ago, and he was telling me about YouTube and how it can be used to convert clients. And I said, look, even with LinkedIn content, doesn't matter what type of content, it does not convert anyone, right? It just nurtures them. I can put out a top of funnel post and then a middle of funnel post. They don't have to see the bottom of funnel post, because if I message them before that, I can convert them, right? If there is no DM, your conversion rate will drop drastically, because content nurtures, it does not convert, right? It can push people to the point where they're nurtured, to the point where they're the 3% who are willing to go the extra mile, book an appointment without you saying anything. But the truth is, it just nurtures them, pushes them further up the demand gen funnel until they reach a certain point. And it's at that point where they sort of then want to convert, and that they will then sort of want to have a conversation with you to sort of see pricing, to see the deliverables, and see what you can offer. That is content, right? That is the first pillar done. Second pillar is DMs, right? So many people did this wrong, right? Even I do this wrong to this day. DMs is a bit counterintuitive, because the purpose of DMing someone is to really just push them to a sale. But the truth is that you don't want to treat it like that. You want to treat it like you are messaging a friend, right? You're really trying to help someone out. So if it's not a friend that you're messaging, then you're messaging as an expert who's trying to help them, or maybe as a doctor who's trying to diagnose them, right? But the conversation should be very colloquial, right? You should not being over the top or giving big chunky messages. You want to make it really frictionless, just as if they're having a casual conversation with their friend. Openers don't matter, right? Just say something super personalized, say something like maybe even a joke, something funny. Again, gauge your target audience. It's about knowing your target audience really well. Like, I know for certain people, I can message them in a way that's really funny and jokey. Other types of people, I'll message them, give them free value up front, and they'll sort of resonate with that. So again, it's just whatever works for your target audience. You need to know them really, really well. And then from that point, you can then progress the conversation. Just ask a couple, get them to kind of talk themselves into the sale. When I first ran a marketing agency, I actually partnered with someone, and they were a super hard salesman, right? They'd hop on these sales calls and they would go for a hard sale. Try to talk their way through the benefits, they'll explain the procedures, and like they weren't really listening to what the client had to say. If the client did come up with a problem, it was never, I understand your situation. Yeah, I get it. It was like I get it, but I don't really care because I'm here to pitch you on my service and this is what I can sort of do. That's not how you sell, right? That's not how you should be looking at selling. And I know that's a sales call, but you need to be treating a sales call and sell by chat, which is just typing to someone in the DMs, you need to treat them very similar. So when you do strike up that conversation, just let them talk themselves into the sale. Ask them questions that are pain point questions, even questions that you might know the answer to. Get them to say yes a couple times, and then propose to sort of help them out. Make it frictionless. It's really that simple. Just open with something personalized, ask them questions, and then get them to book a call. Really super simple. Don't overcomplicate it. And yeah, I've learned from some of the best people, right? Freddie was booking 20 sales calls within his first week on LinkedIn. Literally doing the exact same thing. Now, the truth is, when I strike up conversations, a lot of the time people are looking to juice free value. They're looking to sort of get free value out of you and sort of learn. And when I first started, I wouldn't really want to give that. I'd say like, look, I can't really tell you the sort of strategies. But nowadays, I'm sort of more like, well, look, I'm a firm believer in karma, which is the whole reason why I'm doing this video, is because I have faith in our product. I realize that courses are bad, right? I was going to use another word. Courses are bad, right? The only reason why I say that is because they are not personalized. I can give you a course on LinkedIn. I don't know your target audience, and your target audience is really important, because if you don't know your target audience, you can't make content that resonates. You can't make messages that resonate. You can't do a headline that resonates. You can't make banner that resonates. You can't do anything that's sort of going to resonate with the client, which is why we offer coaching. And that's why I know my service works, right? We're able to guarantee that our clients either hit 10K or they'll hit 20 sales calls within their first month, purely because we're one-to-one coaching them. And we know a lot about LinkedIn. So the only reason why I say all of this is because I know, me giving this free course and giving away this free value, I'm a firm believer in karma. So I feel like it will all come back. You offer a cold email, offer to give them a free audit, or maybe offer to edit sort of an email that they've been sending out, or offer to change like their headline, right? Just give away free sort of things along the journey, and it will ultimately come back to you. But some people will implement it, other people won't implement it, and either way it's a win-win, because if they don't implement it, they're too lazy and they want you to do it for them. If they do implement it, they'll see the changes and they'll come back to you, right? And again, it's a big circle, it's a big loop. Whereas if you say to them, no, I'm not going to help, the chances are they're probably just going to be like, well, I don't want to work with you then. Super simples. Right, cool. Another major misconception with LinkedIn is followers really mattering, right? I did this a month ago. So I had below 1,000 followers, right? I most recently hit 1.4K or 1.5K. And again, like we were able to sign 4 clients in 2 weeks just using inbound leads and content, purely because even when a post gets 32 reactions, I'll sign someone out of it. Well, I won't always, but like, let's say, okay, this guy here, booked him in for a meeting. This guy here, we actually closed him a couple of days ago. This guy here, closed him again. This guy, booked a meeting with him, closed him as well. So booked him in for a meeting. He's hopefully going to sign on, going to blur out their faces. Yeah, closed this guy. In fact, I think this was actually the post that closed this guy as well. So yeah, that's closed. He's been our client for a while now. I got a meeting with this guy. Let's see. All right, that's it. Yeah, okay. Right. And I say all of this, right, because this post literally got 32 reactions, 33. Maybe it got like 1.5K in post impressions, right? Nothing ridiculous. And it's still, right, it managed to close us that many people. Now, your expectation should not be to sign 4 clients from one post, but your expectation should be to start 20 conversations or 10 conversations from one post, right? So when they comment for a prompt, I'll send it to them and then I'll strike a conversation up. I won't sell them on anything. I'll just sort of ask them, oh, how's LinkedIn going for you, right? Something on the lines of that. And then as the conversation progresses, I'll ask questions and I'll convert them. So again, and I've given this method to like Eshan, and he was able to close so many people. We gave it to Linus, he was able to do that. We gave it to Philip Chow, and again, he was able to convert the 6 inbounds he got from his viral post. So here you can sort of see 265,518 post impressions. He got like a couple inbounds from that, not sure how many, and he was able to convert them into paying clients. All of this simply because of the framework we give away, right? So again, it's custom. So otherwise I would give it away, but I mean, there's nothing to give away because all of the clients we do work with, we give them custom messaging templates that work specifically for their ICP, and we'll do big workshops with them. We'll do one-to-one masterclasses, whereas this is more sort of generalized advice. But again, like once you sort of know your ICP and you nail it, it is so easy to win. Like as long as you know what you're doing, it's so easy to win. Let's see what else is left. Right, the last thing is profile, and this one is super overlooked, and I'm going to take you through my profile right now, because profile gets treated wrong so many different times, right? Profile, people think it's just a way for a person to get an insight into who you are, but actually the way you should treat profiles is like a click funnel. I'll give you an example. Right, let's see. This here is a random funnel, right? A random funnel. So a funnel is like a website, but it's designed specifically for one purpose, which is to convert, right? So again, this is actually a pretty bad funnel because you can scroll like really far down. But a good funnel will be like a type form funnel, especially for like LinkedIn. You want to have it so that they can't really scroll. There's only one option, which is book a call and maybe a VSL. Now, the reason why I'm taking you through this is because you should lay out your profile exactly how funnels are laid out, right? So notice there's always call to actions, like you can sort of see, give you a VSL, give you a bunch of testimonials. Again, more big text, takes you through what's in the offer, blah, 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 blah. I bet you there's more like, yeah, again, more content to sell them, nurturing them, nurturing them, nurturing them. So yeah, like literally, yeah, and then it ends with, again, a call to action and then also video testimonials or testimonials in general. And I'll take you through Freddie's profile as an example of a really good sort of funnel, right? First thing that someone does when they see a message from you is they will check out your profile. So I'm here on Freddie's profile. Imagine I'm a prospect and I can see, okay, well, LinkedIn growth, founders 5 to 10 high intent calls on LinkedIn, 25 high intent calls on LinkedIn. Okay, no about section, literally just either book a call or get a free resource. Okay, all right, really simple. Client results, and then you can literally just see, right, clients, results, right? So if they scroll this far down, they are interested. So again, this is just, so if we have a look at it, top of funnel makes you aware of what we do. Middle of funnel, value-based, right? Free LinkedIn course, book a call, content, right? Bottom of funnel, all of the reviews, right? It's really that simple. And again, we recommend we sort of do the same situation. We're testing out not having an about section, but again, for all of our clients, we custom write an about section using LinkedIn copywriting. And again, we tweak the service section as well. So this is just something new we're trying. But again, profile is super important. I'd say it's one of the most important steps of converting someone. But the truth is, like, if you guys walk away with anything, it should be, if you're not generating leads on LinkedIn, put out good quality content, focus on your sell by chat. The profile is important, but it's not super important, right? I see so many people, they'll work on making a really fancy banner, right? Notice our banner is one simple color, a gradient in the middle, and just founders get 5 to 10 high intent leads or 5 to 10 high intent calls. It's really simple. It tells you we are going to deliver. So target audience, deliverable, method. That simple, right? Literally nothing more. Again, headline, same thing. Founders, 25 high intent calls through LinkedIn. So target audience, deliverable, method. That's it. Just leave it like that. Really simple. And that is everything, right? That is everything on how we are able to book 25 high intent sales calls using LinkedIn. Really, really simple. Now the chances are, if you've reached the end of this video, you have got some sort of value. I recommend you guys subscribe because I'm going to be giving out more, and follow me on LinkedIn so see some of the content I put out. It's really super useful, and I'll be dropping a few more more in-depth free guides on how you can also sign clients on LinkedIn as well. So yeah, this was a long one, but I hope you guys found some sort of value from it. And yeah, again, if you want to skip all the faff, because the truth is, I learned from the top salespeople on LinkedIn for like months. I was tutored one-on-one, and I was given that support, and I was able to skip through that entire process. And that's what we're doing for you guys, is we're going to be offering you that. So if you have reached the end of the video, then yeah, again, please check out my profile, see if you can apply to work with us, and if you do fit the eligibility requirements. And if you do, then hopefully I'll see you on a discovery call. If you don't, then again, stay tuned, because I'm going to be dropping more free content, more valuable resources. So yeah, that's everything.